I tend to follow the work of Brendan Burchard, and he talks about how social media tends to be a distraction in our lives. If you spend 30 minutes a day on social media, it can add up to around 1 or 2 months of unproductive time a year that you are just losing time to social media. And if you tend to spend more time on it, I know I have moments where I'll get onto Facebook and hours later I'm just like, wow, I've done absolutely nothing with myself and I don't even know what I did. Or it'll be a trail of random videos, a bunch of useless information, and things that I don't really care about. So someone I know commented and asked me to talk about distraction. And I feel like distraction is such an interesting thing because we live in a society and day and age where information overload is the norm. Everyone is fighting for your attention and not always for your best interest. So I feel like distraction is something that is worth defining for yourself. For myself, I know I tend to find Facebook to be a distraction because I usually end up engaging in a bunch of drama and ridiculous stuff that I don't really care about. And even if it's not me interacting as in commenting on it, it's just me looking at it. And sometimes that's enough to throw off my mental energy and make me feel kind of low. So over the course of my time at home, I've been wanting to create a virtual Zoom meeting with a group of people so I could create breakout sessions and just let people pair up and talk with one another, because I feel like it's just a fun feature and let's play with it and make use of it. So I remember I posted on my Facebook about how if any women would be interested in a virtual circle around desire, because I love to help people feel like their desires are possible and real and on their way to them. And someone commented, I could be. And for me, it was just triggering. And usually when things bother me, I just like let it go or won't respond or anything. But this time I was like, K. I think I did like the facepalm emoji and a K. And I was just like, I can't do this right now. I'm just so sick of people who act like they need someone else to make them live their lives. Like, am I supposed to make you interested in this opportunity? If you don't like what I do, if you're not interested, you're just not interested. Like, don't be like, you can convince me. I'm like, it's really not that deep. So bye. And for myself, I was just like, you know what? Like, that was so rude, Lucia. You knew what you were doing. You knew that was, for me, that was like a nasty reply. It was just like, wow, that was out of line. And I didn't apologize because I'm into it. I was very, very bothered by it. And I was just like, you know what? Let me stop being on Facebook because I am not showing up in a way that feels like the way I want to see myself. And so I've actually stopped being on Facebook since then. I use Facebook Messenger mostly to have group chats with my family. And by my family, I mean my mom and my sisters, and sometimes my brother when he wants to participate. And I did that because it just wasn't serving me. It was a lot of misinformation. It was a lot of opinions. It was a lot of negative information being shared. And I don't find my time on Facebook to be productive. I do have a Facebook group that I've created a few weeks ago, and I have not touched it yet. And I also don't know what I'm doing, so I'm like, that'll be fine. But also when it comes to distractions, what I noticed was that once I stopped being on Facebook so much, then at work, our Slack became my way of filling my desire to be distracted with articles, looking at a lot of posts, and keeping up with that information. So what I noticed for myself is that I do have an impulse to distract myself sometimes. Sometimes it's when I'm emotional and I'm just like, I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, so let me distract myself with something else and then let me re-engage in my work. Sometimes it's just habit, because I used to, every time I would go on my phone, I would always go to Facebook just to check. Even if I haven't really done anything, it was just a habit. After you do something so many times, you just do it without thinking. And that was one of my automatic habits. And I also noticed that I had great conversations in that time because I was talking with one of my coworkers, and it was around, why not fill the time that you use for social media with reading books? And I love reading books. I have a lot of books available to me right now. And so I actually ended up using some of my distracted time and would read. So I've read through all of Think and Grow Rich. I'm reading Mating in Captivity on my Kindle. I'm reading Conversations with God. I'm going through Motivation Manifesto with my high performance coaching program that I'm in. And I'm rereading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People as well, just so that I can start really practicing being proactive, creating with intention, and taking all the tools I'm getting and really like combining them. Partially because I just want to be the best version of myself, and I'm on a journey to create the life of my wildest dreams. And also so that as I create my life, I can create a curriculum and a program and practices that will support the people that I would like to support in building a business. So I would like to be a coach. And as I think about it, I would really like to be like an architect for the dreams that people share. So if you are verbose and wordy like I am, I would love to work to like, let's get to a concise statement. If you have a concise statement of you want, let's flesh it out and create a bigger picture. Let's find a way to make it real and support you in creating the habits, the structures, the mindsets, the beliefs that are going to allow you to get to where you are or where you would like to be. So for myself, I know that I tend to get distracted easily. I tend to have beliefs that stop me from doing my best. So when it comes to distraction, what are you focused on and what are you looking to create? And how would you like to see yourself in the face of the distraction? So for me, I didn't want to be addicted to Facebook or social media. I don't want to be addicted to reading articles, and especially if the articles aren't adding value for me, because my company has a lot of options around competition, market trends, what our industry is going through. And for myself, I'm interested, but more from the standpoint of, wow, there are a lot of resources that I could use as I build my business. Wow, I could learn a lot from how they're pivoting their focus and understanding what people are dealing with and their challenges and how that allows them to respond responsibly. At the same time, I love distractions, and I love them when I can be responsible with them. So on those times when I like end up watching one Netflix show and it becomes like binge watching until I fall asleep at 3 a.m, not always proud of myself, but sometimes I need the break and I'm not ashamed of it. And then other times I just binge YouTube videos because they get so interesting. And so for myself, I'm like, okay, like sometimes there are just themes and phases to what I'm going through. And it's gone from Facebook, especially before everything happened a few weeks ago. Then it's been Netflix for a bit, and I've watched through season 3 of Ozark within a day, all of All American. I've watched all of Community, which I don't think I fully knew of, but I'm glad I found it. I really love Donald Glover. And I've watched a lot of D'Angelo Wallace's videos on YouTube. I've seen a couple of others. I like Psychology in Seattle. And now I'm like, oh, wait, let's start taking my ideas and making them reality. So what I'm doing for myself is all the ideas that I have, I'm journaling around them, making lists. I have a 5-year vision that I started with, and then for my 5-year vision, I created a 1-year vision, and for my 1-year vision, I created a 6-month, and from the 6-month, I was looking at what would it take for me to create in 1 month for me to be on track to making the rest of my desires happen. And then I was reading Conversations with God, and for myself, I'm like, it's the problem that I've been having isn't that I don't have enough ideas. My problem is I don't take action. I don't do as much of the things that I would like. So I do a lot of researching and speculating, thinking, reading, accumulating a lot of information, and I don't take action on a lot of it. And after, reading the book last night, dreaming about different things and feeling very energized at night, getting sleep, thank goodness, and then waking up to meditate, I just realized that I'm very excited to create my ideas around a curriculum, my ideas around programs to support people and manifesting their dreams and desires, that as I build my coaching practice, I don't want to be someone who's seen as the expert and a know-it-all necessarily, but I would like to be seen as a support system, an architect, someone who helps with the frameworks and choices that are made so that you can create the life that you want. Because at the end of the day, whoever I work with is the expert of their life, their experience, and their knowledge. They know what they know, and they know what they don't know, and they know their skill sets. And all I can do is provide a perspective where it's like you have more resources available to you than you realize. I'm willing to help you develop skills for research and putting together an experiment, if you will, to see what people are receptive to, what works, what doesn't work. And I know for myself that I'm getting more focus on an idea and mission that I have, which is living my best life and then helping other people live their best life. And for me, I'm living in a studio apartment in Manhattan, in New York City. I have a job that pays well, and I'm very blessed that I can work remotely throughout this situation. And I have debt, and I'm ready to release it and create financial abundance for myself. I don't know what that's going to look like necessarily, but I know I have an LLC, and I'm ready to find the resources to implement a business, come up with a business plan, marketing, all that good stuff. And I'm excited for when I pay all my debt in full and I get all my finances in an order. I'm excited about that because then I can really invest in my business and getting people who know how to implement the aspects that I don't know how to implement, or that I just don't have the energy or care to implement. But I know that I can get myself started now because we have the internet, a lot of information, a lot of people, and that as long as I'm confident in myself and my abilities, that I take action daily towards making my dreams come true, and that I allow people dignity and faith in themselves, because at the end of the day, we each create our reality and we have the power to change it. And I know that I have come a long way in the last year from feeling super miserable about everything and just frustrated about so much stuff, because I read a journal about it last night, and I feel the biggest change for me is just my perspective, that I don't feel as chained to my past and the way people see me, and I feel like I'm starting to create my own sense of Latia and like this little nugget of like, this is who I am. And I feel like seeds of evolution has been a theme that's coming up for me, because I've been allowing other people's seeds and all of their weeds and things to grow in my life garden. And I feel like I'm finally like, oh, that doesn't make sense. I don't like that. Let's get rid of this. I'm not choosing that anymore. And now I'm like, okay, I see the promises available to me and I'm ready to claim them. And if you're excited about things like that, comment below and let me know what you're excited to claim in your life, what you would love to chat about or hear me chat about. And thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and see you next time.